Hello everyone, welcome to Tommy's Station. This is just a midweek quickie. In my last video I showed some corridor connectors that I've been experimenting with. So here's some items I used in my first trials, and these corridor connectors came from Max Sword at live.co.uk. There's enough in one packet to do 6 Locos, so I got 4 packets. So these ones I've already assembled. They fit together to form like the harmonica sort of configuration. And here's some blanking plates, obviously in the same sets. So what I'm going to attempt to do is show how I install these. Now then, let's go back. I need a pointer. These weights, 5 grams, fit exactly into the rear corridor molding on that Loco. Now this one is just tacked in, it's not glued in at all. These are self-adhesive. Obviously they're wheel weights, so they have adhesive pads on them. So what I did, I'm going to have to try and do this delicately, if that's possible with me. Right, I'm using a pair of pliers. I'm going to show, sandwiched between a couple of the layers of paper, is one of those very small round magnets. And what it does, it clicks on to there. So I've taken that off now. So that was how I initially fixed the corridor connectors to the corresponding wagon or coach. Now here is one I've, as they say, I prepared earlier. I've removed the hook from the coupling just so I can show you how it works more effectively. So by pushing that forward, there we go, that's latched now. Now then, it worked very well until it went around some of my tighter radius curves, and then they started to derail. So what I'll do, I'll lift it off. There we are. It slides up. That's why I'm using just one connector, because it's easy to disconnect with just the one hook. So what I did, I'll show you on this one. I glued, or tacked actually, blue tack, the corridor connector onto the end of the wagon. So you have basically the corridor connector attached to the one end of the Loco, and then obviously it can come off with the magnet. It slides up. Now then, again, it didn't prove to be so successful on my layout, but I thought I'll show people what I did, and it does work, but not on my tight curves. So what I've done in now, I've actually reduced the number of folds. So when I connect this one, which is non-magnetic, there, you can just see there's a small gap. I'm using my fingers there. There's a small gap, and that prevents the derailing. So when it's actually in a station, if you see, it looks like they're connected, and obviously as the Loco pulls away, you've got a slight gap, and that has prevented the derailing. And I thought by having the magnet being able to slightly rotate, there's the magnet again, I thought because it could rotate like that without any friction, it wouldn't be a problem. But for some reason, on my layout anyway, it didn't work. But again, just to recap, it's a simple system. It's obviously reversible. You can remove some of the pads. I'm just trying to show now. There's a blanking plate, for want of a better word, that I put onto the back end of that wagon there. So the magnet is the wheel weight is behind that, and it's covered by that paper end piece there. So again, it's held on with the magnet there, and it's quite flexible. And as you see, I'm bending that, but again, for some reason, it tended to want to derail. So I've gone back to, I will be going back to this system where they don't quite lock. There's enough room between the carriages to allow for some movement. There we go. So that's my method of attaching the corridor connectors and being able to disconnect them very easily. When you've got two hooks, it's very fiddly. I don't know how other people connect their corridor connectors. Be interested to find out. But again, this was my excuse fingers. There we go. So it's a wheel weight with that paper cover glued onto the wheel weight, not to the wagon itself, and then the magnet sandwiched between some of the paper, and there we go. That's it, stuck on there. So I don't know if it's any help to anyone who's been having a few problems, but these are very well made. I must be fair, they're very well made. I did make my own, as I pointed out on my maroon coaches. I use greaseproof paper, which is much better than normal paper. It has a bit of springiness to it. I coloured them black with a marker pen. Got covered in the black marker, but never mind. So again, through trial and error, more error in my case than trial, I've come up with corridor connectors that work just by having a small gap between. There we go. Just by having that small gap. There we go. And when it's in a station, it's like that. It looks like the real thing. Okay, so thank you for watching. Bye now.